French fashion face-off today, we are going to be comparing two very loved but very different brands. We've got a little bit of YSL and a little bit of Polene.
The designer handbag market is hot competition between the brands. The market itself is worth $72 billion at the moment. I was like, whoa, that's so much money when I looked that up. And it's set to grow up to $100 billion in 2027. So there's a lot of money being spent on these handbags out there.
And these brands are really competing for that money.
Yes, they are.
We're seeing a lot of new contemporary brands enter the market like Polene that boast really amazing craftsmanship and are actually up there competing with those heritage brands that have previously dominated the market space.
So today we are going to be comparing the Kate bag in size medium, which hits at about $2,000 US.
Shock horror.
To my Polene Numero Un Nano bag, which is only about $350 US.
Now we are aware that $350 is still an expensive price for a bag, but we thought this would make for a really interesting comparison for those who do love handbags and really want to see if the hype is worth it.
So the first thing we're going to dive into is quality. I feel like that's a lot of the main questions around paying such a big difference in price. Is the quality actually that much worse between the two, or are they actually quite comparable?
Now, if we had like an H&M bag here, I think there'd be a significant difference in quality. But when you actually put these side by side, look at the stitching and the quality of the leather, the wear and tear.
The wear and tear on the hardware.
So mine is only 6 months old, I think, or just under.
And I've had mine for over a year now. This is my 30th birthday present. But I feel like the quality is actually really good. Like, I feel like the leather's really nice quality. It's all been done really nicely, craftsmanship wise.
I don't see any scratches on yours.
No, I got the textured leather finish on mine because I knew that it would be a little bit more hard wearing. So you can see the little logo on the bag. It hasn't rubbed off or anything. I feel like sometimes that does happen. Like I remember you had a Kate Spade little wallet that it came off quite quickly.
Yeah, and I feel like the logo on this is looking pretty good, but I have seen a lot of photos online, particularly of the YSL card holders, where this metal does scratch and tarnish.
Yeah.
The sales associate, when I did buy this, did say they'd had a lot of issues with the matte hardware peeling and not really holding up, but the gold one he said was the best, like, long-lasting design.
So we kind of picked the two
very
classic designs, but also in the styles that should hold up.
And I just love you don't actually have to be careful with it. Like you're not going to scratch it. I have a Bulgari clutch and it gets scratches every time you open it. Your nails, I don't even have that long nails, and it's just over time it's developed little scratches because it is that softer, like calf skin leather. Honestly though, after owning this for a couple of months, I think your bag is at the exact same level of quality. Bold
you
statement.
It here, guys.
Bold statement. We actually want to add in a cool video here from an amazing creator on TikTok, and he pulled apart a Polene bag to look at the quality, and he gave it a lot of good recommendations, good thumbs up from him as a professional leather craftsman. So we'll link his video down below if you want to watch that.
He really literally pulls them apart and will tell you what the leather's worth just flat without the craftsmanship added. And I guess that's when the YSL, you're definitely paying a lot for this YSL logo and the brand reputation.
This really brings us to the next point we wanted to address in this video, which is what are you actually paying for with these bags? And it is really the status, the logo, and the heritage. I like to say it's the heritage of the brand as well. I mean, YSL or Saint Laurent is a house that has been around for many, many years. For me, I love getting a little bit of history with my handbags, and it really brings like a bit of magic to the purchase. I'm just trying to justify my addiction, really.
So you don't quite get that, I guess, when you're paying for a more contemporary brand like Polene. You're definitely paying a bigger proportion of the price towards, I feel like, the design. Like, this is quite a cool design with the little pinch design, and you're paying for the materials. So it kind of depends what you're going for. For some people, that status symbol, that's a real add-on for them, that's worth the money.
One of the really interesting things we also wanted to talk about with these is where they're actually made. I thought this was made in France. It's not.
This is also a French brand, Polène.
Not made in France.
Not made in France. So I actually didn't know that the Polène bags were made in Spain until I checked my tracking and it was coming from Spain. They ship straight from where they're made. But I guess it kind of makes sense. There's a lot of like leather craftsmen in Spain and they've done a great job. So I'm happy.
This bad boy is actually made in Italy, which I kind of like. I love Italy. I really want to go back and visit one day. But it is kind of funny that they're this iconic French fashion house and they don't actually make their bags in France. Similar to Louis Vuitton, not all of their stuff is made in France anymore. And I guess that's just the times, isn't it? And it is interesting that you're still paying top quality, or top dollar, I should say, for these designer luxury houses, but then they're not making the bags like they used to. There's a lot of talk around the drop in quality with Chanel and Louis Vuitton in particular, which was why I was so interested to try Saint Laurent instead. And so far, I would say I am really happy with the quality and how this bag is kind of wearing, but the price is something that gets me. I look at Tara's Polène and I'm like, maybe I should have just got that.
You could have had 4 of these.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Would love to hear what you guys think in terms of the price difference and the look of these bags, because I think they still fit in a very similar place in our wardrobe, which maybe brings us to our next point on what fits in the bags.
We've both actually done videos on both of these bags with like a full in-depth review and what we can fit in them. But my one fits generally a wallet. I can actually fit a surprising amount in my bag. It does have these little poppers so you can make it a bit more full.
Oh, you can make it bigger.
Yeah.
See, that's something I miss out on. I mentioned this in my YSL review, is these dent in quite deep. So you actually
lose a lot of volume.
Yeah, your actual space in the bag is that much,
Interesting.
which
'Cause-
probably is similar to you.
Yeah, it probably ends up a similar size because when you shut it, you do lose a little bit of space from the little design, but I can fit a lot. I've got like a reusable bag, masks, wallets. I can fit my Kindle in here when I'm traveling, which is great. Even though they look like this one might be smaller, I think in terms of size and what they can fit, they're pretty comparable.
Yeah. The last thing we wanted to talk about in this comparison is resale value, because when it comes to purchasing designer bags, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always thinking about, can I sell it for more money, or if I change my mind in a few years? Because I did actually have a YSL tote that I did end up selling because it just didn't really work in my collection anymore. I wasn't really into the tote bag vibe. And I ended up selling that tote at a loss, even though it was Saint Laurent. It didn't make me any money. And I don't think it's that same level. It's not an Hermes bag. It's not a Chanel.
Yeah.
I don't think they do crazy price increases at Saint Laurent as well.
But I do think it probably has a little bit more resale value or like ability to be resold because it has that brand reputation. People will be seeking it out. I think Polène's growing. But I think because it's on the more affordable end of the spectrum, people might be more likely to just buy their own one rather than seeking it out as a secondhand bag. Our title, is it worth the money? Being honest.
Do you think yours is worth the money?
I think this is definitely worth the money. Like it's definitely a bit more expensive than I think like Michael Kors, that kind of level of bag. But I feel like after years wear and tear, like it's done really well. Like I'm really impressed with it. And I want to buy more from the brand because I've had such a good experience with it.
Yeah. When you put it that way, I don't think I'll be buying another Saint Laurent bag for a while, mostly because I have one. I have the one that I wanted and it's very expensive. But I can see myself buying several Polène bags, and I think that says a lot.
Quite a statement coming from Ellen.
It's bold.
We have a few other bag videos on our channel. Ellen's done quite a few. I've only done a couple. But we'll link below a playlist if you're interested.
And let us know if you'd like to see more fashion face-offs like this between our favorite brands and what you'd like to see next on the channel. Please leave a comment below. We love reading them. And subscribe, like, all of that good stuff.
And we will see you in the next video. Bye.